Hello, boils and ghouls. You are now tuned in to PVD Horror Podcast. Pleasant screams.
Hey, what's going on? You're now tuned in to the PVD Horror Podcast. I'm Brandon, and I'm joined by my co-host Dave. And today we have filmmakers Misak and Jon Petro to talk about their new film, Bad Haircut. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Now, with you guys being involved in filmmaking for some time now, can you both take us back to the early years and discuss how you became interested in pursuing your careers as filmmakers?
Jon, you want to start it off that one?
Yeah, I've always loved filmmaking. My cousin and I kind of grew up together. So my cousin is was the DP on Bad Haircut also.
Okay.
Reed Petro. Yeah. So I was like Spielberg for Halloween when I was 8, and I've always loved filmmaking. And yeah, after high school, we're from Michigan. I'm from Michigan. I kind of always told my parents, I'm going to LA. I want to make movies, whatever. And so I like moved out to LA right after high school. Did not do anything in film immediately after high school. But yeah, so for me, it's kind of always been on my heart. It was something I wanted to do. Yeah, so I just got involved. Like Reed and I kind of grew up making short films and doing festivals and stuff. And then kind of weaseled my way into a couple of features, like just helping out here and there in the beginning, trying to get on sets. And then sort of did that off and on, and kind of gotten to different roles in different capacities. And then I started a production company like 12 years ago. And I mean, we can get up to speed with like Kyle and I meeting our paths sort of intertwined a number of years ago. And that's kind of a whole nother story. But yeah, for me, it's kind of always been a part of my life. And then it just accelerated like the last 5-6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got started. I, unlike Jon, did not start out when I was a kid. Like I wish I would have known. I just didn't know it was a career thing. But I mean, I was loved movies growing up, probably like every kid, and I was and still am a big Sylvester Stallone fan. Like I wanted to be Rocky. So for Jon was Spielberg for Halloween, Jon was Spielberg for Halloween. I was Rocky for Halloween when I was about 5 years old. And so I just wanted to be Rocky, and those movies really inspired me more in a personal way than they did like to be a filmmaker. But then when I did become interested in filmmaking, then his story even meant more to me. But I didn't get interested in filmmaking until high school, like my end of my sophomore year, right before my junior year. And I just got to, I think right before my sophomore year ended, I did a book project. I had to read a book, and my book was on Michael J. Fox. You had to either write a paper or make a book trailer, they called it. So I decided I'll make a book trailer because mine's about a famous person. There's footage out there. So my dad helped me. He did all the hard work of ripping the footage from Back to the Future and some of his interviews and things. And then not knowing anything, I tried to cut together a little video of something for my book. And I had a lot of fun with it, and then played it for the class, and everyone clapped. And I thought, I like this feeling of
pretty good. I've seen it actually. It's pretty good.
It was my very first thing I ever did, and it's pretty trash, but like for the time, I thought it was cool. And so for a while there that year, I wanted to be an editor. I would take footage from my favorite movies and just have my dad rip it, and then I would just practice cutting to like an epic song or Michael Bay soundtracks. Like I used a lot of Michael Bay movies. I'm a big Michael Bay fan. Just action stuff, Rambo, just cutting clips. And that summer before my junior year, there was a independent small budget movie shooting down in a small town near us. And just through a connection of a friend, we got invited to help out on the set just as production assistants for a couple of days. And it was a night shoot. They had big lights and fog machines, and it was like a genre film. And it was just the coolest thing watching these two guys that were co-directing it. Just seeing them have the vision, tell everyone what to do. It's their script, their story, and they're getting to call the shots. And I thought, forget being an editor, I want to be the director. Like that's the cool thing. So from that point on, I just kind of started making my own short films, and then both Jon and I made our first feature independently of each other at different times. We both were 19 when we did our first feature.
Wow.
And so that was kind of the start for me. And then every couple of years, I did a feature film, another feature. And then in between that, I just kept doing shorts and told different stories I wanted to tell, and met new people and tried to make contacts in the industry and take trips to LA and do whatever I could, write letters. And that's kind of my story, I guess, in a broad overview. So
Yeah.
Okay. Now, like you said, both of you guys created your feature presentations at 19. That's congratulations on that. But what are some key takeaways that you guys learned from those experiences at such a young age?
From the features in particular? Or
Yeah,
all
from the features,
films?
the features, and then the short films, and then just leading up to that feature.
Yeah, Jon.
Well, I learned that I wasn't ready to be a director at 19. I can tell you that.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot. My role in this was some creative as well, but like it was, I was producing, so a lot of it's like managing people, relationships with people, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, specifically with that, I mean, I was really young. I was 19. I know, and so was Kyle. But like, I just kind of got sort of stumbled into a situation and was fortunate probably to be able to do it. But everyone was so much older than me that when I was, it was challenging because people would, I think sometimes I unintentionally rubbed people the wrong way, maybe just because I was so young, I guess. And so I learned a lot on that one. I learned a lot of things I wouldn't do again. Yeah, but Kyle, I don't know. What do you remember about your first feature when you're still?
Well, it was the worst movie ever made, and it was the most.
Same here.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. I just jumped into it so naively. I didn't know anything about creating a schedule, for instance. So I just had all of these actors show up every single day. Didn't know what we were going to shoot each day. It's just all right, let's look at. So I had people quit their jobs and stay down in this town for 17 days. And some of these people I didn't even shoot with till the last 2 days because I didn't know what shoot what. Didn't have locations really figured out other than our main spot. Didn't have bathrooms available. We ate pizza, really crappy pizza every day, lunch and dinner for 17 days straight. I mean, the movie was made on a budget of $1,200. So it was the lowest budget, crappiest thing you can imagine. And I shot it on my 5D. I was the cinematographer. I was kind of wearing a lot of hats.
No.
Didn't really have much of a crew. There were a few people that were instrumental in helping, but yeah, it just taught me everything. I made every mistake you could make on that, and it just informed me for the next one. I don't think I would have learned what I would have. I don't think I would have learned as easily or as quickly had I not just made all those mistakes. And it was a really difficult time. It was overwhelming. I didn't sleep a lot. It was 16 to 20-hour days every day because I had to set up the food, and then I had to do the shots, and then I had to figure out where is so-and-so going to stay because we didn't have hotels or whatever. It was a million things. So going into the second feature, I was much more prepared, but still didn't know a lot, but I managed that way better the second time around 2 years later. So I was 21 when I did the next one. And that was much more of a real thing where we had that budget was $50,000. And I had a couple people come from LA, and I had a couple of real crew people and a DP and stuff like that. I quit more real equipment and movie gear. And so I think I learned more about the management side of it for that one, but I still didn't really have feature storytelling down yet. The movie was very boring, very slow. I wrote a lot of stuff that was just very amateur. And so then going into the third one, it was kind of all right, how do we make this better again? I think we got better with everything, more resourceful, and then but still didn't. And I think the story and the writing was better, but still was slow and dragged and boring. So then this one being the fourth feature was kind of interesting because feature one was 19, then I was 21, then I was 23. And then there's this kind of the 6-year gap up until I'm 29 when I directed Bad Haircut. where I was still doing every year, I was doing at least 1 or 2 short films each of those years that were kind of like high value, putting everything I had into those short films and continuing to write features and do things. So I think it was just the culmination of constantly practicing the craft and always doing those short films, even between features. And sometimes, like even the year we did Bad Haircut, we did the most ambitious short we'd ever done just a few months prior to shooting. It's a musical we did that Jon and I did together. And so it was that really informed a lot of things on Bad Haircut. So I think everything was just, you're always learning. And I learned so much from Bad Haircut, made a lot of mistakes on that. But yeah, I think you're always going to be kind of learning and trying to get better.
For sure. I saved this fortune from like a fortune cookie at a Chinese restaurant. And it says, we learn much from our mistakes, our failures, and little from our successes. And I think that's super true. And both of you are kind of saying that, living examples of that. It sounds like you've learned more from, your past mistakes making films, and that's kind of helped you grow, which I think is awesome. I also wanted to say, when Jon was saying that maybe he rubs people the wrong way, Kyle, you had a little smirk on your face. So I was wondering if you've had any examples of seeing that with Jon, and also kind of like, what's it like working together, like the dynamics between the two of you?
Yeah, no, I smiled not because I think Jon rarely rubs anybody the wrong way.
Okay.
From my vantage point, I just was laughing because I've rubbed a lot of people I think the wrong way as well. in films. It mainly Bad Haircut, honestly. Like just with just when you're with a team for 6 weeks and people start to just kind of, you get not a lot of sleep and people get irritated, and I'm sure people get irritated with me. So it's kind of one of those things. I think the nature of being in leadership on anything,
Sure.
Not everybody's gonna be your biggest fan. So I think that's just why I was smirking with Jon.
So we get along surprisingly well for having gone in the trenches together on every level for a lot of years. Our investor actually got on a call with us after a while, and he was like, "You guys are laughing and like you're like friends still." I'm like, "Yeah, like one of my best friends." He's like, "Wow." He's like, "Maybe we can do this again." He's like really surprised, that like we get along well. Yeah, it's funny because it's hard. This stuff's hard,
I think it's important to have someone that's a collaborator that you just click with and are on the same page, share the same values. And for me, like Jon is like that person where, despite like he was the person that I was in the trenches with, like he was saying, we were just in it together, and we knew that we always had each other's back and could always count on each other. And like Jon never rubbed me the wrong way. I may have rubbed him the wrong way, but him and I, like we still we're constantly communicating on calls together all the time. We hang out all the time. So we're still like, just the movie made us even closer of friends, which was really cool. And so I think it's important to have someone like that in your life that you can really count on, and to make
everything out. Yeah, everything will fall apart otherwise if you can't. And you see it happen all the time. It does happen all the time.
Yeah,
I agree.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it making a film, doing this work, have so many different opinions and like visions and stuff like that. You're bound to, have two people bump heads or just not agree on something. So to be able to like get through that and still have a close relationship, I think speaks a lot to both of you. Whether you've rubbed each other the wrong way at any point in time, that really doesn't matter because you get through it, and I'm sure you're both better for it, which is awesome. Kyle, you kind of mentioned Rocky being a huge influence on you, and like Michael Bay action films and stuff like that. Jon, I want to ask, like, what would you say are some of your like films that have been influential on you? For both of you, like, what are some of your top horror films, if you have any?
Yeah, Kyle.
Well, to steal from Jon, like I know I mentioned Michael Bay and Stallone, but Spielberg is also my favorite director of all time. Like he is, in my opinion, the best and the greatest. I love his movies. But in terms of horror movies, I'm honestly like, I really am not much of a horror movie fan, generally speaking. Like, but I do like a good thriller. And so for me, that's kind of what Bad Haircut is. It's a thriller comedy. And the reason I wanted to do this movie, not only because of the personal experience with the barber that the story was based on, but tonally, I grew up with this movie called Disturbia, a Shia LaBeouf movie. It came out in 2007, and I just loved that movie because it was as a teenager, it was like the perfect kind of movie that my friend and I really loved growing up, because it was the next door neighbor, he's like the serial killer, the pretty girl next door. You got the best friend character, and then this romance thread and the suspense, and it was just really funny too. So I just really liked that, and that was a huge influence on me in making that haircut, just tonally.
I've got some. So I really like zombie movies a lot. I love Danny Boyle. I like the 28 series. I love 28 Days. I've got like the box set, 28 Weeks.
Awesome.
Okay.
All that. Big fan of that stuff. I don't know, some people might not dig, like I like The Village. I guess that's a horror movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I like Megan, which I've seen recently. I'm trying to just think horror. But other movies, I'm also a huge Spielberg fan, but it's kind of, I've got a list somewhere on my phone of like all my favorite movies, but a lot of them are like, I love Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
These are like cliche stuff, probably Twister, but I like A Time to Kill. I like Pleasantville. I like I've got kind of like a whole list, but I was trying to think of horror movies.
Ah, you're good. Yeah.
I think like closest thing I get probably regularly is I like a lot of zombie movies though.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jon, you recently celebrated Small Business Day by creating an opportunity to support small businesses through a video project. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Man, they're doing some digging around here. That's good.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah. So my company is Innovative Media Group. And so at this point in my life, I sort of have two things going on, like career-wise. I've got IMG and my team. So we do a lot of work for businesses, corporate companies, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, we did this like 6 years ago, but basically just the purpose is just to honor small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So we put out like a contest, I guess, for lack of better, where people could nominate businesses that they were proud of, or they think they felt should be honored. And so this company called Harvest & Co. won in Southwest Michigan, and we're producing a video for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, is that just down for Michigan residents, or is this worldwide?
Yeah, it was anyone. We're from Michigan, so most people that were nominated, there were some other like states and stuff, but I think the focus was probably Michigan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's cool that you saw that. I'm assuming the promo or something.
That popped up. So I thought that was cool because, that's what we're all about. We create markets for small businesses in our local area, and it's really important, so and we have so many friends, so it's just like just giving back to the community. That's what it's all about. So that was really 100%. Cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yep. So we're in the middle of shooting that right now. And that particular company, they're awesome. The owner's name's Dan Miter. They've crushed it. They went through a fire, got out of it, got through it, like family owned, and just have a really cool story. So we're really excited about doing that. And I feel the same way. I'm all about like the entrepreneurial spirit. A lot of my friends are entrepreneurs, and like I'm big on like empowering people and trying to. I think you need that community, right? Like I need people. It can be lonely out there when you're trying to do your own thing, and so it's important to have people who can have your back and vice versa. So, but thank you for bringing that up.
No problem.
I think it can be lonely, but it also can feel super cutthroat or competitive. So knowing that you have other like support out there, I think is super important, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it feels like, you don't know if people have the best intentions for you, the worst intentions for you. So yeah, that's great that you're doing that. Yeah,
it's fulfilling, right? It can be, I say lonely, but like, that's like, I feel like entrepreneur talk one-on-one, where if you own a business or something and then everyone's like, yeah, sometimes it sucks, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Yeah. Right on.
All right. So now Bad Haircut is set to have its world premiere at Fantastic Fest in Austin, Texas. Is this your first time attending Fantastic Fest? Tell us a little bit about the film also.
This is actually my first film festival ever. So
okay.
It'll be a whole new experience. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to premiere it. So it'll be the first time we really see it with a truly kind of unbiased audience in one spot. So
Yeah. Yeah, same. I have not been to Fantastic Fest, and like I've been to a few festivals, but this circuit, or the Bad Haircut, it'll be the most I've been to, and like probably higher, more festivals that are, I guess, more reputable, I would say. I've never like have not traveled the country or world and gone to festivals before, so this would be a first, like in terms of how extensive our travels are and kind of how many we've gotten into and that kind of a thing. And Kyle's been in a ton of festivals, just to be clear. He might not have attended them, but his films have been in festivals.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I think Fantastic Fest is going to be cool. It seems really unique. I know they put a lot into it, so we're excited to be there. And we'll get a group of the cast will be there that we haven't seen in a minute. And some of the other folks in leadership and people on our team. So we'll all get to spend time together and celebrate. So it's going to be sweet.
Awesome.
Now, can you talk about the date it's going to premiere? I think it's the 19th, right?
yeah, September 19th at 2:10 p.m. is our official first premiere there, and then we have a second screening of it on September 23rd. I think it's at 11:40 a.m. if I'm not mistaken. So 2 showings at Fantastic Fest, and we're looking forward to it.
Nice. So it's so cool because this is also gonna be my first time attending Fantastic Fest. So I hope that I can bump into you guys, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this on the big screen. And thank you so much for letting me and Dave check this out, because we had a great time watching it, and there was just so many pieces that kind of just stood out to us. And just looking back at it and seeing some of the behind the scenes pictures, it just seemed like it was such a great shoot. Seeing like pictures with you guys in the cop car. Can you talk about stories just being on set with each other?
Oh yeah. Got lots. What do you want to hear? Lots and lots.
To narrow it down, anything specific?
No, just whatever. Just the time that you guys spent together, just having a good time. So
Well, it was like years of stuff, man. I mean, starting in the very beginning, I guess we can just try and like drop through it a bit. But once Kyle wrote the script, I got the script and read it, and then kind of in terms of our collaboration and moving forward, that's what happened in the beginning, and that was Kyle like 3.5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, fall of 2021.
Yeah, 4 years ago. So then it was sort of off to the races, and I started we started taking meetings with people, and I was trying to get us funding, get the movie greenlit. We got an investor, and then from there it was really off to the races. And that's where all like kind of stories begin of all kinds of stuff. Kyle wrote the script with a particular actor in mind, who we knew and our investor knew. We just all kind of knew there may be some issues, or we needed to go meet him in person, basically, in New York. So we flew to New York, and that was like one of the early adventures. This is it's a fairly notable, actually. You probably know him. I shouldn't say who it was, but it was.
Can you give us initials?
Wild. The first name starts with a P. I can say that.
okay.
Kyle might not like that I said that. But...
Kyle's like, damn you. Now you're running me the wrong way.
Yeah. It just happened. You finally did it. Yeah. But that was crazy, dude. Like, he had all his kind of wild stories, and we had this wild adventure with this classy restaurant and all these like kind of things that would be on like a reality show or a movie unfolded. And I mean, if we were offline, we could talk more about that one, because I want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to be kind.
Even before that, though, even prior to that, the very first thing John and I did after we got our investor on board, like we had a bunch of there was just so many things that happened, but the first like on the road adventure felt like when we needed the first purchase that we made was that ice cream truck in the movie.
Yep.
So John and I went to Detroit in kind of like a rough neighborhood and bought this ice cream truck in cash.
Put 10 grand in cash.
Yeah, so we had to like negotiate this, and there's a whole day of adventure, because
turns out there's like an inner community of ice cream truck drivers, right? Like it's like a culture, and it was crazy. We should not have been there with cash and not really having a plan. So anyway,
Who owns this now? The ice cream
Well,
truck.
we do technically, like we bought it and then
Where
we
is it?
took off a cliff, and it's currently at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Done.
but yeah, that was a crazy because we drove it and it broke down 30 miles into having it, trying to get back home. So then it's like caught on fire. We gotta tow it all the way back home. It was really expensive. Then we have to have a new engine put in it. So it was this whole giant thing. So there's just like one thing after another. But in terms of like production itself, yeah, I mean, it was like an intense 6 weeks. It was, I wouldn't say it was fun, but it was like the adventure of a lifetime because there was so much stress and so much pressure on us to get things done and have it be of this level of excellence we were trying to hit. And we knew we were trying to do something that was really difficult with an indie movie where you're doing it on a very small budget. We were trying to achieve like a studio look in terms of our lighting. We built sets for this. Like we shot a couple things on location for the exteriors, but everything that was interior was a set that we had to build because we wanted full control with lighting. We wanted to shoot with a dolly so we could pet up and down and smooth, like real, Spielberg type kind of stuff, not just handheld and not just on tripods. Like we want to make this feel legit. So everything that we were doing was kind of stacked against us because it's hard to achieve that stuff when you're on a tight timeline and a tight budget. But we tried to be strategic and hire a good team and schedule things as best we could and try to pull it off. And so, yeah, I mean, it was an intense 6 weeks, very, very stressful.
We were lucky with we did a cast sheet. We could talk about that a little bit about casting. We auditioned, I don't know, like over 1,000 people and narrowed it down. And we could, if you guys want to get to Frankie, we can get there. But he was actually that was a whole series of things. I kind of mentioned the first actor that we went to visit in New York. Then we had another also fairly notable actor that's that we had to get a visa for, and that was a whole long process, and he was out of the country. And then he unfortunately had a health issue, almost died. He's fine now, but he almost died not long before we were going into production. And so and then on top of the actor strike happened like weeks before production. So we had to get a waiver, and we were doing all this stuff. Like we had people in LA going to the SAG offices. Kyle and I were going in Chicago. We had a rep that we were blowing up all day and emailing all day for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like literally we were in person with SAG, Kyle and I, and she's like, listen, like big movies are not getting waivers. Like you're not probably going to get a waiver. And we had all these sets built in a warehouse, like a little mini sound stage. We had bought the ice cream truck, all this money already invested. And it was this one piece of paper, that was like holding us back. And so we were literally hours away from having to cancel all the flights it was like the day before the actors were flying in that we actually got the waiver. So it was like a miracle that we went into production. But one thing so that talk about stress and crazy stories. Like Kyle, I have footage of him calling back the actor that we went to New York to visit, who we knew would probably derail the whole film, like a week or two before we started, just because we're out of pure desperation. Like we didn't have anyone like as the lead character in the film. So that whole part was also miraculous that we were able to get Frankie. But anyway, having said all that, I think one thing, I mean, Kyle, you can talk more about casting, but I think we got really fortunate with that. The actors.
But before you guys go on about casting, can you maybe give either one of you, would you be able to give us a brief synopsis of the film for listeners, just so they kind of have an idea of like what Bad Haircut's all about?
Yeah, kind of the log line of it is when a college kid goes to get a haircut at a new place, he discovers that his barber is a psychopath. So basically a little bit, if you want me to draw that out a little bit more, it's this college kid and his friends drag him to this new haircut place that they go to because he's suffering from low self-confidence, getting rejected by girls at this party and made fun of. And they're like, listen, we gotta change this kind of look you've got going on here. And it starts with getting a haircut. So that's kind of the genesis of it. And then his barber just turns out to be this crazy, eccentric, bizarre personality. And it turns into this big adventure and the worst day of his life, ultimately. But it ends, it's redemptive.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a fun ride. Hopefully as well.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. But I need to know, have either of you had an unusual experience at a barbershop that you would be willing to share with us? Like, what was the inspiration behind creating this film?
Yeah. Well, like I mentioned, the barber is based on a real barber that I had in college, and so that was kind of the what sparked this whole idea for the script. I just always thought this guy was a character and that he belonged in a movie, and the guy in real life. And so I knew this guy. Like I knew his little catchphrases, I knew how he moved, I knew what he'd say, I knew his voice and his look. And so a lot of what you see in Act One are things that happened to me, like the taco bit, like getting your hair
The
cut.
taco bit was real.
Yeah, like he left midway through just because he wanted tacos, and like
Yeah.
he came back and we watched this movie on his TV. And so like it wasn't like
Oh.
I don't remember exactly what the movie was that we watched, but so I altered it for the sake of the story in the movie. But that happened. The dancing around was a real thing. The catchphrase perfection, that was always something that was whispered in your ear. Just the general aura of this guy was that's like what it was. And so yeah, I mean, there's a turning point in the movie, which I think is obvious for you guys that have seen it, where I take it in a direction where I thought things could go if it was the most outrageous thing that could
Right.
happen.
Right.
But the setup for it is all pretty true to life things because I was just drawing on real life inspiration.
It's like if you went there with your buddies and you're just observing this guy and you're like, oh, I bet he's, such and such.
Yes.
You just kind of went with that, like that little mumble that you might have with a friend and made it and showed like the reality of it. Out of all the things that could have actually been true, I'm so glad the taco thing's true. That was hilarious. I know this beautiful taco place. Like that was wonderful because back with the piñata, that I absolutely love that.
Yeah. What about you, John? You have any stories?
About which part? I'm sorry.
Just the barbershop. Just any crazy stories?
Oh, I got crazy stories. Not really about barbershops. That's entirely.
Just
I mean, the catalyst is definitely our co-producer Jesse and Kyle both visited this barber in real life, and that's definitely the seed or the catalyst.
Is this
It was a
barber
real life person?
Is this barber still around? Do we know?
I don't really know 100% for sure. Like I don't know. I can't.
He needs to
Although-
see this film. He's famous now.
Well,
He needs to see it.
although it's a couple of test screenings, Kyle, you have had a couple run. You should talk about that's interesting.
Yeah, people have come up to us in the test screenings and said, "Was this based on a real person?"
Hmm.
I'd say yes, and they're like, "Was it based on so and so?" And I said, "Yeah, I don't want to say yes or no." But
This was at a Grand Rapids test screening in Michigan, so
Yeah.
Okay.
people
Very likely.
may have actually.
Yeah, it's very likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
these people knew who it was that it was based on. So I think
Yeah.
it's pretty. I think it's pretty obvious if you know who the guy is in real life, you could probably put two and two together. And I want to be
Mhm.
clear, like I did not base any of the negative things in the movie on him. It was just the aura and personality
Yeah.
that inspired this crazy character.
There are positive attributes that Mick has in the film.
Yeah.
He's a fascinating. Yeah, he's an eccentric guy.
Yeah.
He just, gets
Yeah.
derailed a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Like when
to
I
say the
heard,
least.
yeah, when I first heard about this film, like just so many things had gone through my mind because, like, for my barber growing up, like me and my friends, we would go and there was nothing like crazy that he would do, but it was just kind of like the taco situation. I know a barber, usually they're just working all day, they don't have time, but they kind of like do that stuff to like who they know they can get away with. And my buddy,
Yeah.
he was just like, oh, you know what? I'm hungry. Let's go. And like went out to eat, or it's like, oh, I didn't go to the gym today. Let's go. We're going to go to the gym. And I'm like, my buddy's telling me about that. I'm like, yo, this guy took you to the gym. Like he never pulled that shit with me. So like sitting in the seat and watching this film and seeing, the other guys not having that experience with Mick, but then just the main character
Yeah.
going through this stuff. I was just like, oh man, this is most of the stuff that he was going through.
That's funny.
So
The barber down the road from me would eat tuna fish sandwiches while he was giving haircuts.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I actually forgot all about that until you said you
Well-
just brought that back up. I was like, oh shit.
I actually now I'm thinking about. So I had a barber. I was gonna say his name. I heard he passed away a little while ago when I was a kid, but he was just a wild dude, and there would always be. I mean, I was young. It was like he would have like a black eye or something, and my uncle was a barber. I forgot all about this. My uncle worked briefly at this salon or whatever it was, this particular shop, and they would, I guess, like party together and stuff. But this guy was just wild, and he'd get like hammered, and they'd be playing pool, and he'd like break pool sticks and they get into it. And he bit my uncle in the eye one time on his right here in his face. So yeah, I guess I did know a crazy barber once. It just it was in my past. I forgot about it.
Yeah,
I guess there's always one out there.
Yeah,
it's crazy. That's why Dave. That's why I shaved my head. I didn't have
you're
time
done with it
because it was like he would also, you know, when you call for an appointment, and it was just like, all right, yeah, come at 5, and then you have like 6 other people sitting there, and I'm like, dude, I don't have time to wait all night. And then so that's when I just started shaving my own head, and like I just don't have time to be on anyone else's time. I got things to do.
Yeah.
So
Well, that was the other thing that was true to life about the barber this is based on in the movie. It's like it was $7. There's no tax, no tip, all cash under the table, and there was never a line. And it was always kind of this strange thing because it wasn't just broke college kids that went there. There was like families and older women and just kind of the whole spectrum of people. So he was really good at being a chameleon and made you feel like you were the only person. But at the same time, there was things that just felt like, I don't know. It's kind of like you either feel like, oh man, he's just really misunderstood and he's a really good guy. But then other times, just if you're in there alone and the mood shifts, it feels like, I feel like I could get killed right now. It just kind of has that feeling. So you always kind of have this, and there's always a story you had when you left that day that you go tell your friends, your family, like,
that's awesome.
The barber did today, like crazy.
yeah, it's so crazy. I have to say, Frankie Ray was perfect for this role as Mick. What was the experience like working with him on this project?
Jon, you want to jump in there?
He's a great guy. Frankie's awesome. It was, well, again, to his credit, he got thrown in kind of last minute. Like, so we're super fortunate to have him. He's extremely talented. And B, I don't think, because we knew that there were other people, this was written for someone else, X, Y, and Z. Like, I think Kyle and I probably both agree. I'm not sure anyone could have done it better.
Yeah.
Even much more notable people. I mean, we've talked about it. We've seen people that we were approaching for this role and we're like, man, we're so grateful we got Frankie.
Yeah.
So I think,
he was, like Jon's saying, 100%. Even though we had other people in mind originally, we just didn't know who Frankie Ray was. And we just felt like we got so fortunate because when we were casting and we were looking at people's demos and things, and then his audition popped up, we're like, this guy is so similar in energy and everything to who the real life person is, and he understands what this character is and who he's supposed to be. And it was just like a perfect fit. And so we felt like we got lightning in a bottle, and it was just a whirlwind it was 3 weeks before shooting that we brought him on, and then get him up to speed and try to, inform him as much as we can before he's flying out and being a part of it. And then it was just from there, we were off to the races. And it was a crazy experience, but just, obviously incredibly talented actor. And we were just really fortunate to have him.
Yeah. I mean, like anyone else, he's got he's a strong personality on his own. Let me put it that way. He's got his opinions. He's a trip, for sure in real life, but he's a good dude. He's got a good heart, and he came through for us clutch. So happy we have him in it. Yeah, that's for sure.
So as you're directing him in this role, and you have your you already kind of know the person you're trying to get him to portray, right? How much of that was you telling him what to do versus did he do any impromptu? Was there any of this that he just brought to it intuitively?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good question. Early on, I had such a specific vision for the guy's voice in particular of what I remembered the guy sounding like. And so I kept trying to get Frankie to, trying to mimic the voice of what I remembered. And it just wasn't coming across as authentic when Frankie would do it. And so ultimately, we kind of discussed it, and it was like, okay, let's just drop that. And let's just encompass not what he literally sounded like, but what the essence of him was. And so Frankie kind of found that on his own. And then, I did have a pretty lengthy character description for him of just to try to inform him of who I thought this guy was, which I think was helpful to him. But yeah, ultimately when we were on set, it came down to, we would do a lot of takes. And then towards the end, we would always say, okay, let's do an artist take is what we called it. And then that's kind of when the switch would flip for him, and he would just not, he would know where his marks are and what the essence of the scene is, but he would let that stuff go in terms of specific, like line for line, and he would kind of bring his own thing to it. And those were the best takes. Like, so many of those made it to the movie where it was essentially like I don't want to say it was fully improvised, but like, because it was based on what is on the page to a degree, you know, which I guess is still just improvising. But yeah, he would take so much liberty with it. And so many magic moments came out of that. I mean, you could probably point to any scene. I would say the majority of all the takes that we used for his performance were all artist takes. And the last take or two of a shot, and something that he brought to it that wasn't written.
That's awesome.
Nice. Now, I love the whole vibe of the film. It's like, to me, it was like if Superbad and the loved ones hooked up with Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Like, it was just so it was like a cool trip, you know what I mean? I really had fun with it. And like some of the jokes it kind of like brought back to like as we were kids growing up, and then like also viewing some of your short films, like you have this love for the Sandlot. You know what I mean? I could see that there. Yeah, definitely, it's definitely a great film, and I think everybody should definitely check it out when it comes out.
Brandon, I wanted to also kind of add in one more influence, and I didn't know if you thought this as well. And I almost had a little bit of Greasy Strangler.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well. Are you guys familiar with Greasy Strangler?
No.
Unintentional Greasy Strangler.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. You guys are going to have some homework after this. You both need to watch Greasy Strangler. It is
I'll write that down.
Absurd and hilarious at the same time. It's like I don't know, Brandon, how would you describe it? It's like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite
on 20. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a good one. We like that movie.
Yeah. Have you seen The Loved Ones before or no?
No.
Yeah. It
has some homework to do here, huh?
Yeah, it's a dark tone movie, but it definitely has like the vibes a little bit where, you know, Frankie's character as Mick kind of has, you know, the love interest situation going on there. So
Okay.
Yeah, we've definitely heard Superbad.
Yeah.
Like, some early 90s.
I've never even seen Superbad.
No?
I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
I know what it is, but I've never seen it.
Okay.
And we've heard obviously Buffalo Bill. I mean, I think that one
Yeah.
that checks out.
Yeah, that was more of a reference for me in terms of like character and look, and not well, I guess. I mean, it was all based on the real person,
but there was a scene, and I thought you were going to go full Buffalo Bill when he's like when he changes, and you didn't. But I was like, wow, the setup was like, I think he's going to do it, and I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah,
but it was like, it was. Yeah, I definitely caught that as well.
I think that hopefully there's a lot of those moments where, I mean, you know, hopefully it's unpredictable and not predictable. Or there's moments where it's like, man, almost, I feel like this could go, you know, like keeping people on the edge of their seats. Like, hopefully there's enough of that where it's like, holy shit, this is.
I think Brandon would attest to that too. I think on both of our ends, like there was no part in this film where I felt like I knew exactly what was coming next.
No.
Most of the experience of the film felt like it could go this direction or this direction. I don't really know which way, you know, from start to finish. So yeah, definitely keeps you guessing as to what's coming next.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
It's cool. It's hard for us to remove ourselves from it because we're just in it. So we know all the turns that happen. So it's kind of fun to hear people who have no idea what they're getting themselves into, what their perspective is.
Sometimes I wish I didn't. That'd be cool to be able to see it. It's just
Well, and you guys are going to be able to do that vicariously through watching the audience's reactions at Fantastic Fest, which will be very cool, obviously. But another way to do that, and Kyle, I hope this is okay for you to share because you shared off air something, and if you're not comfortable sharing it, just let us know. But you already did do a little private screening in front of a kind of an unorthodox audience. Would you share that?
Yeah. So we did. Are you talking about our private test screening we did in Michigan?
Yes. Yeah.
We did 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did a night of private test screenings back right when we finished post-production last year, and it was really cool because it gives you an opportunity to see it kind of through a fresh lens. Like you're saying, you get to kind of see it vicariously through other people and you witness it differently. Just, I don't know how it works, but you just feel when things are kind of lagging or this is what, so we took that whole test screening and we did anonymous feedback cards and everything. And then we took the feedback that we got, and then that really, and we could also feel it in the room too at that
Yeah.
point, but the cards helped kind of verify sections where it's like, all right, we got to trim this out, tighten this up, remove this, let's tweak this, and then get the runtime down a little bit. So that the cut you guys saw is the latest, the final version, but it was like, I don't know, 15 minutes longer before, and I'm glad that we cut it down because it really helped a lot. But
and the audience you did it in front of was familiar with you, but maybe not what kind of film you were creating, right?
Oh yeah. I
know what you're talking about.
On air, I don't think.
Sure, no problem. But I just think that's cool. Like people to like have an idea of who you are, but then you do something kind of like that maybe is unexpected. And it's cool to kind of like for people to see that you're not just one thing. And I think that's all of us, right? But yeah, no, I won't push any further. But that that's a great thing for people to also understand the process of how this works. You do a few test screenings and the film's not even finished at that point, because that's where you start to like really go to work with some of the editing and figuring out like, all right, what hit, what didn't hit, and what will make this story kind of come together better for the next festival or whatever.
I mean, it definitely wasn't my grandparents' cup of tea. They were there at one of the and some aunts and uncles I had and stuff like, yeah. So, but aside from that, I mean, I think we had a pretty good test group. Like we did it in LA, and then we also did it in Michigan, and so I think we had a good pool of people to
That's
pull
awesome.
from.
Yeah,
and it was good. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like anything else with art, like not everyone's gonna dig. Yeah, in this instance, like you don't know what everyone's favorite genre is. Like we didn't have control over, just getting people that are. That's why this will be so much cooler at Fantastic Fest.
Mm-hmm. And even that exists within a festival like that. Like when you look at even a genre like horror, there's so many different subgenres, right? So one person might really like slasher films, and another one really might like horror comedy. And if you like horror comedy, and obviously this is your cup of tea.
Yeah.
If you like slow burn psychological films, this might not land for you as well. But I mean, I'm sure you'll still have takeaways that you can appreciate and enjoy. So yeah, I mean, it's like that everywhere. Are you guys actively already working on other projects, or are you guys kind of just experiencing this for now and kind of taking a break?
Yeah, no, we've got a few things going on right now. We have obviously our goal right now, main goal is distribution for this. So our sales agent has been working on that, and the festivals are obviously happening now. So that's kind of, I think we're in full swing with all of that. But we have our investor that did Bad Haircut with us is actually partnering with us again to do a new movie that we'll shoot in Montana, and that'll be a feature. We don't want to say too much about it yet because it's still like super early on, but it's a kind of a surreal drama, and so we're really excited about that. Something unique and different that we haven't really done before, and think is fresh, a unique idea. But we have that going on, and then we're also pursuing a documentary that, again, like Bad Haircut was one of those things where, I mean, I think also for Jon, not generally something we gravitate towards. But I mean, that movie was really made for, to me, teens and young adults. Like that was kind of our target audience, Bad Haircut. But we found that it's resonated with a lot of the older generation too, a lot because of the soundtrack that's in it. Is a pretty like awesome soundtrack, I think, with the songs that we have in the movie. But anyway, doing a documentary was never really on my radar. But Larry Hankin, this character actor who's actually plays Gus, the hot now employee in Bad Haircut, he's been around for a long time and has been in a ton of movies and TV shows like Breaking Bad and Home Alone and Seinfeld and Friends and Billy Madison, tons of stuff, Escape from Alcatraz. So he's had a career for like 60 or 70 years in the entertainment industry. And he wrote a memoir a couple years ago called That Guy. And so it's just this really cool story of his life and his personal life and his life in show business and famous encounters he's had. And it's just amazing story. It's kind of like, he really reminds me of kind of a real life Forrest Gump character, the way that he moved through pop culture from like the 50s to now. It's just the shoulders that he's rubbed shoulders with so many famous people. And so we're making a documentary about his life, which we're really excited about.
Very cool.
Jon, you can talk about the TV show if you like.
I would have spoke more about the it's a series. Also pretty early on, the pilot's pretty much locked in. contrary to what Jesse believes. I'm just kidding. So Jesse's a co-producer and one of our partners also, and we've been kind of dialing in the pilot episode. But so it's a series. It's an 8-part series, yeah, it's about a generally speaking, like fish out of water kind of scenario. A married couple, pastor and his wife. They moved to like a sort of like small town, and it's like a dying congregation, this church, and so it's a comedy, but certainly not like super like heavy on the faith side of it, but also not, you know, it doesn't make a mockery of faith at all. So so it's sort of its own thing. But I don't know if you've ever heard of a show like Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of like got that vibe, right? But we all like a show called The Studio, which is on Apple TV right now, with Seth Rogen, and so it's sort of, we like that style and that structure. So kind of, yeah, I guess our pitch was like those two shows combined. They're very different shows.
Sure.
Probably more like Schitt's Creek. But yeah, it's kind of like them navigating this wild situation, in this like sort of small town, and all these kind of over the top scenarios that present themselves. And I think at least the pilot, I think it's really funny. And we're excited about that. But yeah, I mean, all this stuff, this one also still fairly early on, but we've got 3 irons in the fire, 3 things moving at the same time in terms of our next step. So we're hoping that just kind of a waiting game to see which one will move forward first, I guess.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Now, I just have to throw this out there again. Like I said, you know, the way that, you know, watching some of your shorts and everything and kind of going back with some of the jokes with like the Sandlot and stuff, I think that you would do a great job, you know, creating a project like that again, like Little Giant, Sandlot, and just like doing something, just because like the child actors that you had in some of the shorts too, it's like you do a great job working with them, and we're definitely missing films like that from back in the day, like, you know, Problem Child and stuff like that. So I think that
Yeah.
so I think that you guys could do something with that, you know what I mean? Because from what I seen in that short, you know what I mean, I'm like, all right, I wanted to see more of something like that. So just throwing that out there for you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Oh, no
I mean,
problem.
That's generally kind of the stuff that I gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling like the Autumn Girl,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny you mentioned, like they do reference that in Bad Haircut. They reference the Sandlot.
Yep.
But that wasn't something I wrote. That was something those guys came up with on the day.
Oh,
Okay.
Because they whatever was written, they were like, we can make this funny, or we have an idea. So they just like came up with something. They gave me like 4 options, and then I was like, all right, I like that one. So they're like, we figured you'd like this one.
All
So
right.
they did that little bit there, but that was all them. But yeah, I thank you for that. I appreciate it. I love that short that we did as a team. That was 5 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's one of my favorites still.
awesome. Can you share with our listeners and our viewers where to find you guys on social media?
Well,
LinkedIn for Kyle.
yeah, I'm actually not really on social media, but our movie is Instagram. It's at Bad Haircut the movie, and that's kind of where they can keep up to date on Bad Haircut and when it will be released and all that kind of stuff. And then as far as me personally, I'm on LinkedIn. I know it's kind of lame, but I'm there. So on YouTube, our channel name is Throwback Pictures, and that's generally where I put up our short films and things like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Make sure you give a follow.
I am on Instagram at petro.jon, Jon. So Jon Petro. Yeah. And then the big thing is we want to keep the momentum going with the Bad Haircut Instagram, especially keeping everyone posted on what the future looks like for the film and when it's going to be released and where, that kind of thing, which we're excited about.
Yeah.
We're really excited. So
All right. Well, thank you both for spending this time with us, talking all things Bad Haircut and, you know, about your careers and, you know, kind of giving people some inspiration to, you know, just take chances and, you know, don't give up, even if you create something that like didn't come out the way you want, you know, learn from those things and keep growing as, you know, in your trade. So I think there's a really inspiring story behind that. So we appreciate you guys kind of sharing that for us.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thank you guys for having us on and letting us talk about Bad Haircut, because we're really proud of it and really excited to share it with the world, and honored that you guys took the time to watch it, and excited for everyone else to see what they think. So
yeah, thank you guys, and for what you do as well. I mean, shining a light on people that are doing this stuff is a awesome thing, and so we're grateful for your time as well. And that's good stuff.
So everybody, make sure you check out Bad Haircut when it is available for you. But the first way you'll be able to see it, it will be Fantastic Fest on September 19th, you said, and the 23rd. Yes. So if you're around Austin, Texas, and you can get to Fantastic Fest, make sure you do so. If you're there, make sure you say hi to John and Kyle, and also say hi to Brandon, because he will be there as well.
We got to hang out for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back next week with a new episode. Thanks, and see you later. Bye, everyone.
Game over.